We also have had some other portal movement since the last time we really sat down to break this down. And I wanted to sort of pair these off, mostly looking at the quarterbacks in the SEC East. Devin Leary, former NC State quarterback, who is the top-rated quarterback in the transfer portal, commits to Kentucky. Graham Mertz commits to Florida. Do you think they're both starting for their respective programs in 2023?
I think Devin Leary is.
I think Devin Leary is too.
I mean, I don't think Devin Leary's I think Devin Leary was desired enough on the market where he wasn't going to be transferring to a place where he didn't feel pretty comfortable with the notion that he would be the starting quarterback. Now, of course, he will have to earn it.
Right.
As everybody must, but I think he feels pretty safe there. I don't know if Graham Mertz will be Florida's starting quarterback.
I don't either. I thought there's a lot that's going on with this quarterback carousel in terms of the dominoes that are falling with the quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Here's what stands out to me about Devin Leary to Kentucky. It has not been confirmed or finalized, but the buzz is there, and it has been reported from the NFL side and the college side that Liam Cohen is coming back to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Liam Cohen, who was with the Rams for a while, in one season, this is Kentucky. Here's the chart. Kentucky's number 13 or 14 in most offensive categories in 2020. In 2022, Kentucky is number 13 or 14 in most offensive categories. And then in 2021, there's this spike. And it just happens to fall in line with Liam Cohen's arrival. And a lot of the buzz around Will Levis coming into this season was thanks to an offense that was guided by Liam Cohen. He goes back. He's the offensive coordinator with the Rams. Reports indicating he might be coming back. To me, that is why a Kentucky fan should be excited, because Devin Leary, in the only season when he has been able to start every single game, had 35 touchdowns to 5 interceptions with 3,400 passing yards. And the group of wide receivers and skill position players that NC State has had are very good. You might see Zonovan Knight, a.k.a. Bam Knight, is playing with the Jets right now. But for the most part, it's not like he had elite skill position players around him. That is a quarterback that is able to look at a defense, see where the ball needs to go, and most importantly, take care of the ball, make good decisions. Again, only one season in his college career has he been able to start every single game. He had 35 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 3,400 passing yards. I mean, he's not as toolsy as Will Levis. He doesn't have like all the physical attributes of Will Levis.
He's a better quarterback, though.
Yeah, in terms of what we've seen, I think he's a better quarterback. So you're upgrading your offensive coordinator, you're upgrading your quarterback. I think that if you're Kentucky, you've got to be excited about Leary's arrival.
You do, but I think the key thing you've said is in the one season he was able to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He's had problems staying healthy. I don't know what the case is for sure, but I don't think he's going to be available to practice with the team in the spring. I don't think he's going to be able to really get with them until the summer, which I think probably limited his choices to a certain extent at some schools who were maybe interested, but probably wanted him there in the spring. I agree with you. I think Will Levis far and away, as far as a prospect, the arm strength, the mobility, all that kind of stuff, he's far and away better prospect than Leary. But I think that when it comes to playing football, we have seen Leary, when he is healthy and on the field, he is a better actual game playing quarterback to this point. That's not to say that Levis can't get there one day once he goes to the NFL. I mean, we saw Josh Allen at Wyoming. Compared that to what we've seen in Buffalo, guys can get better. So as for Kentucky next year, yeah, you should be excited because you were able to, you're more excited probably about the OC than the QB, though, because the OC has proven it for you. The QB hasn't yet, but you're excited that you've got somebody who has the track record coming in to go with the OC you're expecting to come back, and Liam Cohen, and you've got reason to think that next year's offense is going to be a lot better than this year's was. But I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. If that offensive line isn't better next year, it ain't going to mean a damn thing, because you still have to go against SEC defensive fronts. And that offensive line this year was not equipped to handle most of the defensive fronts we saw during the season, which is what killed it. So that's something I think I need a Kentucky fan. I've got some experience with some young guys this season. Hopefully they're improved. I'm also maybe, in the portal looking for some upgrades.
And offensive line is not a place where there's a lot of available options in the portal.
No.
So it's
they're not cheap.
Yeah, they need to dip in there. Okay, so I mentioned the Graham Mertz to Florida because they're both in the SEC East, but I'm with you. The Graham Mertz does not, to me, look like a quarterback that is going to greatly change the outlook for the Gators offense in the same way that Devin Leary does. Graham Mertz to me is like, I guess you're just boosting your quarterback room depth. And I don't know if Billy Napier is planning to go back into the portal or if he's really excited about what Jack Miller could be. I can tell you that I was not encouraged by the bowl game performance, but man, like for Florida's offense next year, it sure seems like there's a lot of pressure on a group that is not inspiring a lot of confidence to be able to overcome exceed those expectations. Otherwise, this might be an unhappy group of Gators fans out there.
Yeah, I get the sense, and I haven't been told this. This is just from reading tea leaves. I get the sense that Mertz was the third choice at best. I
Mm,
think that they were interested in Grayson McCall. There were problems there. I think they were interested in Michael Pratt if Michael Pratt opted to leave Tulane. Michael Pratt announces he's staying at Tulane, and not long after, Graham Mertz is announcing his commitment to the University of Florida. I do not think that is a coincidence. I think that it's kind of like JT Daniels ending up at Rice. JT Daniels was a five-star recruit out of high school, but we've seen enough evidence to know that he's probably not going to live up to that five-star potential. Injuries had a huge part to do with it. Graham Mertz was a very highly rated recruit coming out of high school. Big time excitement for the Badgers. His very first game during the COVID season, he lit up Illinois, and he has not been good since. In his defense, at Wisconsin the last few years, that offense did not have a lot of weapons on the
mhm.
exterior at the receiver position. If he goes to a team in which he can maybe use some of his arm strength to get the ball outside the numbers and push it downfield, get better receivers, maybe he will improve. But from what I have seen from Graham Mertz, I am not super optimistic. I don't think he had all the help in the world, but I don't think he did much to help himself at times. Although I will say this year he was better. Not good enough to make you think he's great, but he was better, which is something you do want to see.